Hello everyone, it's me Evan, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be covering the DSW Tinjapard 7. This is my sort of strike interceptor fighter, hot off the press really, or more or less. Development has been rather slow, but good. So this thing is mostly modeled after an odd combination of a Me-162, the German jet fighter, and sort of draws inspiration also from an A-10. So it's kind of got the double engines on the back, but it's sort of in the size range and visual sort of style more of the 162. So it's got a single gun here that fires a burst of armor-piercing shot. So that's certainly some heavy firepower. It doesn't fire full auto, so you only get that burst, but that burst will be pretty much enough to, tear most things apart. Takeoff is a bit sketchy, I'm not gonna lie. You gotta sort of feather it a little bit. There you go. Like if you do it right, it doesn't take much at all. But the landing gear, to get them to fold up properly without making the entire game die, I had to make the wheels static so they don't really roll that much. They don't roll at all. But they do fold up nicely, mostly out of sight, which gives this thing a nice sleek appearance outside of landing, So one of the things that breaks the very sleek profile of this jet fighter, or I guess interceptor, is the air brakes, which are enormous. These air brakes are huge, and they slow the vehicle down pretty quick, even when you're not, stalling out like I was just then. This fighter is fairly maneuverable, but its main advantage is the speed. You can see we are rapidly gaining velocity. It does have a little bit of trouble with stability in terms of roll, but it's got like a wingspan that is very small, so it's not overly surprising. And of course the anhedral wings don't exactly help, which the reason there's a little bit on the end there, that's called a dihedral crank, and that's to help with roll stability. It doesn't do much, but it's enough to make it so that this thing can function well. And I think I'm going to have some footage of it functioning well now. Well, that was surely an epic montage, kind of, not really. I don't know. It's fun to use, and I personally find it to be quite effective in multiplayer. Let's just go over the controls real quick so that you guys can all get acquainted with this vehicle. So, pitch and yaw is pitch, yaw, roll. That's all alt. Pitch would be mouse up and down, and it's accumulated, so it stays where it's at if you leave it there. Roll is your steering, A and D. And then ailerons are, of course, your side to side, mouse side to side. So we've got, for the just engines on, I guess, is X, and that's just light thrust. Afterburners are W. Air brakes are spacebar. Landing gear, retract and open, it's on a toggle, is I. And we've got emergency landing fuel, in case you run out of main fuel, because this thing does run out of fuel pretty quickly. And that would be action 2. And then action 3 is these flaps here. Now that's not a toggle, so you have to hold that down, but it's not too big of a problem. L, or your headlight, is your smoke, your wingtip smoke for showing off. And then, of course, the gun is action 1, which is, I'd like to think, pretty typical. You can see it pushes this thing around quite a bit. It's quite a light plane. Most of it's, wood construction. You can see here it weighs only around 9,000 pounds, but it's been very fun, and it's proven unreasonably durable in almost all of the tests I've been doing. So I'm pretty confident to release this to the workshop, and I hope you guys enjoy it. So thank you, and have a good night.